Exit 8 is a very simple game. It has no story, it doesn't really have any characters, and it all takes place in one hallway. All you have to do as the player is walk to the end. But sometimes that's easier said than done. The goal of the game is to escape this underground passageway, but it's littered with anomalies. Little changes to the scenery, the environment, and even the people walking through it that you have to notice. If you don't see anything, that's totally fine, and you're able to just keep walking forward. But if at any point you notice anything that's strange, off-putting, or just plain different from the norm, you must turn around and walk back to where you started. Otherwise, you'll find that the hallway itself keeps looping, PT style, repeating over and over again for infinity, and eventually, something very bad might happen to you. All you have to do to win the game is go through the hallway 8 times, successfully turning back if you see an anomaly. And honestly, once you get the hang of it, and you know what to look for, this makes it a very quick game. You can finish it in half an hour. So what makes it really interesting to me is the broader trend that it's a part of. Exit 8 is just one of an entire genre of games called Anomaly games. This genre includes titles such as Platform 8, Hangar 8, Stairway 7, 6th Floor, 8 AM, Count 427, Doll Imposter, Echoes of Madness, End Loop, Everloop, Dead End, Dead Signal, Death Watch, Death Watchers, Cabin Factory, Caught on Camera, Anomalous Detective, Anomalous Hour, Anomalum, Anomaly Exit, False Dream, Fearful Injection, Horror Family Flight, I'm on Observation Duty, I'm on Observation Duty 2, I'm on Observation Duty 3, I'm on Observation Duty 4, I'm on Observation Duty 5, I'm on Observation Duty 6, I'm on Observation. Long story short, there's a lot. So what makes these games so popular? For some Anomaly games, I think you could make the argument that the fear comes from the setting. There's a good chunk of them that take place in a traditional horror setting like an old rickety house. But this point is debunked by the fact that one of the most popular of these games, Exit 8, takes place in a very mundane, even sterile setting. This subway station hallway in Exit 8 is well lit, clean, and proper. I guess it evokes a bit of unease on its own due to its nature as a sort of liminal space, a place you would normally expect to be crowded with people, though it somehow isn't. That type of horror is very popular on the internet. I mean, just look at the Backrooms or any of its many clones. But even that effect is tenuous and wouldn't make the game worthwhile on its own. You can't get away with using a setting like this unless you trust fully in the inherent fear that the concept of your game will create. And many of these other Anomaly games are the same in this regard, so I don't think we can make the claim that the only reason these games are scary is because of some superficial design choice. There's no ambient music telling you how you should feel, no creaking doors, no whispered voices, but your brain still does the heavy lifting. In Anomaly games, the scariest part isn't when something happens, it's when nothing does and you're left wondering what you might have missed. When you're playing I'm on Observation Duty and you don't notice the shadowy figure standing between the trees, but you know that something is wrong. I've seen some people speculate that the reason these games are so widespread now is simply because they're great for streaming and Let's Plays, and there's definitely some truth to that. The very nature of an Anomaly game makes it great not just for getting reactions from streamers, but also for one of YouTube's most important metrics, watch time. These days, the way YouTube decides how good a video is by how much of it people are willing to watch. YouTube actually tracks the percentage of every video that you watch before you click away. This way, I can see which of my videos people are more likely to watch more of than others. Also, YouTube really likes it when you re-watch parts of a video, because that means that that part of the video must have been extra good, or at least extra interesting for some reason. Now think about how this applies to Anomaly games. If you're on YouTube watching someone play one of these games, every time they miss one of the anomalies, you're incentivized to go back and re-watch part of the video to see what they missed. You're also encouraged to leave a comment about it, and YouTube loves when people leave comments too, because it means you're engaging with the video. All of these things will make that video, and by extension the game, more popular. But I think these games would have died out very quickly if they didn't succeed on their own merit. There's a better reason why they're so popular. After all, this phenomenon of horror hiding in plain sight is not unique to games. It's also one of my favorite tropes in many scary movies. Hereditary has several examples of it being done really well, and just off the top of my head, Insidious also has one really good one about halfway through. Even games like Five Nights at Freddy's, which got really big in the 2010s, have an element of this. The main gameplay loop of Five Nights at Freddy's has you checking security cameras, searching the dark to see if you can see any of the monsters hiding in it. You might only see their pinprick eyes. It was less of a focus in that game, but you can see the bare bones of it there. Apart from that, this type of subtle horror also got really popular in the early internet. There used to be a trend of sending images like this with the caption, "When you see it, you'll shit bricks," and they'd always have something disturbing hiding in the background that you'd have to find, and when you did, it would really startle you. There are more obvious scares in Exit 8 as well, like some very loud knocks on this door, or a very large wave coming tumbling toward you. But those are rare, making them feel more special when you do encounter them. The vast majority of scares in this game are very easy to miss. I think the reason we're drawn to horror like this that isn't as in-your-face as a typical jump scare is because of a certain implication.
Now, you've said that word implication a couple of times. What implication?
The implication that we're not safe, even when we think we are. That we can be in an environment where nothing is immediately obviously wrong, but where something is wrong all the same. But there's more to it than that. It also suggests that this threat we're searching for is intelligent enough to know how to hide from us. It goes back to a very basic primal fear that is extremely common in nature, where the prey hears a twig snapping in the woods and looks around nervously for the predator, but does not see it. When the predator is better at hiding than the prey it's searching for, the prey is cooked. I actually don't think Exit 8 is the best game from this genre, but it feels like it's the one that really popularized the idea, and that's why it's the one I wanted to focus on for this video. It's also the only one I can think of that is getting its own film adaptation this August. It's crazy that such a small indie game has become so widespread that it's now going to be reimagined on the big screen. I'm hoping that the film is going to be a faithful adaptation of what makes the game work, while also not being afraid to take advantage of the added benefits that come from the medium of film. From the trailer alone, we can tell that it's going to take some liberties. The lighting is more dramatic, and there's actual music and other non-diegetic sound in order to implicitly tell the audience that they're supposed to be feeling scared. I'm not terribly worried about that being a problem, but I do hope they make sure to strike the right balance between the subtlety of the original game and the more traditional horror tropes the film could play into. They also seem to be introducing different characters within the hallway and more of a story to prop up the central gimmick, which I'm totally on board with. Since this isn't an interactive experience like the game, you need to do more to keep the audience engaged. You can't just have the protagonist be a cardboard cutout. In the game, you are the protagonist, and that's enough. But in a movie, we need to care. We need to wonder not just what is happening, but who it's happening to, and why that matters. And it seems like they're going to do that, so I'm cautiously optimistic. Honestly, as long as they don't make the massive mistake of just explaining what the hallway is and destroying the mystery element of it, the movie will probably be good. I hope it's good. But more than that, I hope it gets it. I hope it understands what makes these games so compelling in the first place, because in these games, the scariest moment isn't when something happens, it's when nothing does, and you're left wondering what you missed. Thanks for watching this video. I finally was able to do a bit of a shorter one. I think the last 3 or so videos I've been trying to do, I've tried to make them shorter, and it just hasn't happened. But this is a topic that interests me. I played Exit 8 first a couple months ago, and then I played it again recently, and I'm like, this gets me thinking. It gets me thinking. I was like wondering why these games are so popular, because I've seen so many of them, and they're especially popular on stream for reasons that I think are obvious, but when you get down to the actual psychology of it, I think it gets more interesting, and I hope this video is able to touch on that in a way that makes you think just a little bit. We've got our lovely patrons on screen here and our channel members. You can become a channel member today for just $1. Whose crazy idea was that? But otherwise, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.